Leo, be strong. A tragic blow may come, one that could bring tears to your eyes, but it is not here to destroy you. God knows exactly what He's doing. This pain is not punishment, it is a turning point, a divine intervention designed to release you from chains that have held you far too long and to guide you toward a greater chapter where your light shines brighter than ever. You are standing at a threshold, and even though the air feels heavy now, the steps you are about to take will open doors you didn't even know existed. Have you ever faced a moment so sharp, so unexpected, that it cut straight to the core of your heart? A moment where betrayal or loss pulled the ground from under your feet? And yet, somewhere deep inside, a quiet voice whispered, "I am with you." That whisper is not your imagination. It is the reminder that you are not alone, that even in the darkest hour, there is a higher plan unfolding for your good. You are not here by coincidence. Out of all the places you could be right now, you've been led to this exact moment because there is a message you need to hear. The energy of the universe and the guiding hand of God have brought you here for clarity, for strength, and for the tools to walk through this storm without losing your light. This is not the end of your story, it's the scene where you rise, where the hero in you takes the lead. Think of yourself as the sun obscured by heavy clouds. For a while, the world may seem dim and cold, and it's easy to believe the light has gone. But the truth is, your light has never left. It's waiting for the right moment to break through with more brilliance than before. That moment is coming. And when it does, you will not only see the road ahead more clearly but also understand why the clouds were there in the first place. In this reading, we will walk through 5 essential revelations that hold the keys to your transformation, the decisive crossroads you are about to face, the path to regaining and protecting your financial stability, the truth behind a hidden betrayal, the deep healing of past wounds, and the establishment of strong, honorable boundaries that guard your energy. Each part will not only uncover what is likely to happen but will also empower you with practical steps to take control of your own journey. This is guidance for your spirit, your mind, and your everyday life. Before we begin, I invite you to take part in a small but powerful ritual to align yourself with the blessings on their way. Write in the comments right now, "I am stronger than the pain." This is not just a statement, it is a declaration to the universe that you are ready to rise, that you choose to step into your strength and your destiny. Let your words be a signal, a kind of spiritual signature, that marks this as the moment you decided to move forward with courage. I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude for your presence here. Every like, every comment, every subscription not only supports this channel but strengthens the connection we share in this space. It allows us to continue delivering messages that can shift perspectives, heal wounds, and light the path forward. Your support fuels this mission, and it means more than you know. So, stay with me until the very end, because what the universe is revealing today is nothing short of extraordinary. By the time we reach the conclusion, you will not only understand the purpose behind this painful blow but also see the new life waiting to emerge from it. Now, let's begin because this is your moment, and this message was always meant to find you. Tell me in the comments what has drawn you here today. Is it the heaviness you're carrying, or the hope that refuses to let go? Either way, what you are about to hear may be exactly what your heart has been waiting for. Standing here, Leo, you are not simply at another bend in the road, you are at a place where the entire landscape of your life could shift depending on which step you take next. In astrology, you are ruled by the sun, the eternal source of clarity, vitality, and truth. The sun does not hesitate between light and darkness. It burns away the fog, refusing to live in the half-light of indecision. That is why moments like this feel so intense for you. You are not wired to linger in the gray zone. Your spirit knows it must choose, and it must choose with the fullness of its heart. Imagine yourself standing before two paths. One may look safe, familiar, and without sharp edges, but it leads you in circles, keeping you in a life that feels smaller than your potential. The other may look uncertain, even intimidating, yet something about it stirs your soul and awakens your courage. This is the essence of the crossroads, choosing not the easier way, but the truer one. The universe often presents such moments disguised as discomfort, but what it is really offering is a chance to align your external life with the inner truth you've been carrying all along. Astrologically, this decision-making period is amplified when the sun forms aspects that challenge your comfort zone. These are the transits that light up the hidden corners, showing you what no longer resonates. It is in these times that Leos either step fully into their royal authority or retreat into the shadows, pretending the choice can wait. But time has a way of moving on, and the longer you linger, the more stagnant your energy becomes. To navigate this, you can approach it as both a practical and soulful exercise. Take out a blank page and write down two scenarios for the next 3 to 6 months, option A and option B. For each, list the benefits, the drawbacks, and most importantly, how each choice feels in your body when you imagine living it. Your instincts will not lie. Your chest will either expand with possibility or tighten with hesitation. The mind is good at rationalizing, but the heart and body speak in a language that is much closer to your truth. While I will not draw on religious doctrine here, there is a universal principle of clarity. When you take time to quiet the noise and listen inwardly, you will find that the answer has been there all along, waiting for you to be ready to trust it. It is in stillness that the next step often becomes undeniable. Color can also support you in this process, not just as an aesthetic choice, but as a frequency you embody. Surround yourself with golden hues to amplify your self-confidence and remind you of your solar nature. This is the color of royalty, success, and radiant energy. Integrate deep ruby tones into your space or clothing to ignite determination and anchor your commitment to your choice once it is made. These colors are not magic in themselves, but they are reminders, energetic cues that keep your focus aligned with the path you've chosen. As you stand in this moment, understand that a crossroads is not a punishment. It is an invitation. The paths before you are not marked right and wrong in the way we sometimes fear. They are marked, aligned, and misaligned with your higher potential. Choosing the aligned path may bring growing pains, but it will also bring expansion, self-respect, and a life that feels like it truly belongs to you. So, take a breath, Leo. You are not here to play small or dim your light to fit a space you've outgrown. You are here to stand in the warmth of your own sun and choose with courage. And when you do, you'll find that even the uncertain road can feel like home when it's the one you were meant to walk all along. Tell me, which choice is calling you louder right now, and why? Share it in the comments, not just to unburden yourself, but to declare to the world that you are ready to move forward. Money, much like a river, has its own current. When its flow is guided by solid banks, it nourishes everything along its path, creating life and abundance. But when there are no boundaries, the same current can flood and erode, leaving behind only damage and scarcity. In your chart, Leo, the sun's placement often brings a natural generosity and an instinct to give freely, sometimes too freely. You thrive on expressing abundance, not just in material form but in gestures, experiences, and gifts. Yet, without conscious direction, that generosity can drain your reserves before you've built the stability that allows you to keep giving without depleting yourself. Right now, the universe is presenting you with a rare opportunity to untangle a financial knot that has been limiting your movement. This could come in the form of an overdue payment finally reaching you, the sale of an asset, or a short-term project that injects new energy into your income. The key is not just to welcome this influx, but to use it with precision, directing it toward clearing debts, securing essentials, or investing in tools that expand your earning power. It is not enough to have more. The real transformation comes when you decide to manage more wisely. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is to stop agreeing to impulsive payment plans. Each small commitment may seem harmless in isolation, but together they can form a web that quietly holds you back. Simplifying these obligations into one clear repayment structure can release mental energy and allow you to see your true progress. Pair this with the 24-hour pause rule for all non-essential spending, giving yourself a single day to evaluate whether the purchase serves your long-term goals or simply offers a fleeting rush. You may find that many desires dissolve when given the space to breathe. Separating your accounts into distinct purposes is another form of energetic alignment. When you allocate 1,020% of every incoming amount into a savings or investment account before you touch anything else, you signal to yourself and to the energetic field around you that preservation is as important as enjoyment. Over time, this habit builds a foundation that supports both security and freedom. From the perspective of the law of attraction, money is a form of energy that responds to respect. When you treat it as a trusted partner rather than a fleeting guest, it tends to return the favor by staying longer and multiplying. The frequency of emerald green can serve as a visual and energetic cue to attract and maintain wealth that resonates with growth, stability, and vitality. Even the number 8 carries the vibration of continuous flow and renewal, reminding you that prosperity is not a single event but a sustained rhythm you cultivate over time. Your challenge and your gift lie in balancing your radiant, heart-centered nature with the discipline that ensures your light never dims for lack of fuel. It's not about restricting yourself, it's about creating the structures that allow you to expand without collapse. Just as a mighty river can power entire cities when channeled wisely, your resources can fuel dreams, uplift others, and create legacies when guided with intention. Take a moment now to ask yourself, which one of these principles could you put into action immediately? Share your commitment aloud, even in a simple comment, because the act of naming it anchors it in reality. This is how change begins, not in grand gestures, but in the consistent choices that tell the world you are ready to step into your full, sustainable power. Sometimes, Leo, the hardest truth to face is the one that comes from someone you thought you knew. There's a particular sting in betrayal because it doesn't come from strangers, it comes from within the walls you thought were safe. And when the mask finally falls, the shock is not just in what they did, but in realizing how deeply you had let them into your life. This is not simply a wound to your trust, it's a rupture in the story you told yourself about them, and perhaps about your own ability to read the hearts of others. But in the language of the cosmos, even this is a form of protection. The universe knows when someone's presence is eroding your strength, and it will often orchestrate events to show you the truth before the cost becomes unbearable. When this kind of revelation lands, your first instinct may be to react, to confront, to demand explanations. But true strength in moments like these is not in the volume of your voice, it is in the stillness of your center. Step back. Breathe. Create a pause between what has happened and how you respond. This pause is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is the space where you gather yourself, where you secure what is yours, where you decide how this chapter will close on your terms. Check your boundaries, not only the emotional ones but the practical ones, your accounts, your agreements, your digital keys. Protect what you have built with the same fierceness you protect your own light. Betrayal, painful as it is also a strange form of clarity. It peels away the illusions and leaves only what is real. In that sense, it is like removing a black thread that has been woven into your golden cloak. At first, you might only see how it disrupts the beauty of the fabric. But once it's gone, you notice how much brighter the gold shines, how much lighter the cloak feels on your shoulders. You are not losing something essential, you are shedding something that never truly belonged. This is also a moment to remember that loyalty, real loyalty, doesn't demand constant testing. It stands on its own without manipulation, without having to prove itself over and over again. If someone's loyalty evaporates the moment it's inconvenient for them, it wasn't loyalty, it was an arrangement, and arrangements can end without either party's soul being diminished. You, Leo, are not here to negotiate your worth. You are here to radiate it, and those who cannot hold that light will fall away. There are also tools to energetically cleanse the residue such encounters leave behind. Surround yourself with colors and elements that act as shields: black obsidian for grounding and protection, white silver for clarity and purification. These aren't magic in themselves, but they are reminders that you can choose the energy you allow in and the energy you release. When you see these colors, let them prompt you to stand tall, to breathe deeper, to feel your strength returning. And while this may feel like a rupture, it is also an initiation into a stronger version of yourself. One who knows that trust is a gift, not an entitlement. One who learns that walking away is sometimes the bravest possible act. One who understands that the end of a false bond creates the space for true connection to enter. So, I'll ask you, not just as a reflection but as a declaration, have you ever uncovered a truth that hurt in the moment but later became one of the things you were most grateful for? Share it. Speak it aloud. Because sometimes telling that story is the first stitch in mending the fabric of your trust, and in doing so, you remind yourself and the world that your light was never truly dimmed. There are moments in life, Leo, when the past doesn't knock, it simply walks back in, carrying with it the scent of old seasons and the echoes of conversations you thought had long faded. This return might take the form of a person you once knew deeply, a place that held a chapter of your story, or even a sudden memory stirred by something as small as a song or the way light falls through a window. In astrology, such moments are rarely random. They often coincide with cycles of closure, where the universe brings something back into your field, not so you can live it again, but so you can release it with a clarity and strength you didn't have before. This is not about reopening wounds. It's about tending to them so they no longer bleed into your present. Sometimes the past holds unfinished sentences, words you never spoke, emotions you buried to survive the moment. When those threads remain untied, they can quietly weave themselves into how you see yourself today, influencing your choices, your trust, even your joy. The opportunity here is to meet that past with the person you are now, not the one you were then. You've grown, your perspective has shifted, and you now have the capacity to understand the story differently. One powerful way to engage with this is through the practice of writing a letter you'll never send. Pour into it every truth you've held back: your anger, your sorrow, your gratitude, your forgiveness. Let the words spill without editing, as if no one will ever see them, because they won't. When you're done, release it. Some choose to burn the letter, watching the smoke carry away what no longer serves them, a symbolic act of handing the weight back to the light. This ritual is not about the other person, it's about liberating the part of you that has been waiting to be heard. From a psychological perspective, closure is a form of integration. It allows the mind to stop replaying the same loop, and the heart to stop waiting for an ending that will never come from outside. Numerology mirrors this truth. The number 9 represents completion, the point at which a cycle has fulfilled its purpose and prepares to transform into something new. If this chapter is appearing in your life now, it may be because you are in your own 9 moment, ready to graduate from a story that has nothing left to teach you. In your healing, the color royal blue can be a powerful ally. It's the shade of deep oceans and clear skies after a storm, carrying the energy of peace, wisdom, and dignity. Surround yourself with it, wear it, keep it in your space, or meditate on it as a reminder that you can approach this chapter with calm authority rather than emotional turbulence. This is the vibration of self-respect, the kind that doesn't require the past to approve of your present in order for you to feel whole. You may feel a pull to answer questions, to rewrite history in a way that makes more sense, but understand that the real rewriting happens in how you hold the memory now. It's no longer about what they said or didn't say, what they did or didn't do, it's about what you choose to carry forward. And sometimes the most powerful choice is to carry nothing at all. So, if you could say one sentence to your past, one sentence that closes the book without needing to reopen it, what would it be? Speak it, write it, declare it. Let it be the key that locks the old door behind you and the one that opens the gate to the next chapter, where your inner sun child can finally step out into the warmth without the weight of yesterday's shadows. There comes a point, Leo, when the weight you've been carrying stops being a challenge that builds you and starts becoming a chain that drags you. That is the moment when justice and boundaries must step forward. In astrology, your sign is known for its pride, loyalty, and sense of honor, but these same qualities can sometimes keep you holding on too long to agreements that no longer serve you, to people who no longer respect the mutual exchange, or to situations where the scales have tilted far from balance. Justice in your life now isn't about revenge or punishment, it's about restoring equilibrium so that your energy, time, and resources are respected and protected. When you choose to address an imbalance, do it with the clarity and poise of a ruler presiding over their realm. This is not a time for scattered arguments or emotional spirals. Instead, let your words be few but precise, documented when necessary, and backed by clear timelines and expectations. You are not simply making a demand, you are setting a precedent for how you will be treated moving forward. Every boundary you set sends a message, not just to others, but to yourself, affirming that your worth is non-negotiable. But justice is only part of the equation. The other, equally vital part, is release. There are relationships, commitments, and habits that once nourished you but now leave you drained. They may have been right for a season, but the season has passed, and continuing to pour yourself into them is like watering soil where nothing grows. Walking away is not a sign of failure, it is a profound act of self-respect. It is a conscious choice to stop feeding what no longer feeds you. Energetically, this release creates space for something better to arrive. The law of attraction works in concert with the space you allow it. If every corner of your life is occupied by outdated obligations and stagnant energy, there is nowhere for the new to land. Letting go is not just closing a door, it is opening a gate to a path that aligns more closely with who you are becoming. The universe responds to readiness, and one of the clearest signals you can send is the act of clearing away what no longer belongs. In this process, symbols and tools can help anchor your intention. The color amethyst carries the vibration of intuition and spiritual protection, reminding you to trust the inner voice guiding you through the letting go. The number 1 holds the frequency of fresh beginnings, encouraging you to see release not as an ending, but as the initiation of a new cycle. Surround yourself with these cues, wear them, keep them in your environment as daily reminders that you are both protected and poised for renewal. There is also a subtle shift that happens when you release from a place of respect rather than resentment. You stop carrying the residue of conflict into the next chapter. This is the art of exiting with your dignity intact, without leaving behind fragments of yourself in old battles. It is the decision to be the author of the ending, rather than a passive participant in it. So, as you stand here now, ask yourself with honesty, what have you been holding onto out of habit, obligation, or fear, rather than genuine connection or purpose? What would it feel like to place it down, not in anger, but in grace, and turn toward the space you've just created? Write it down, declare it, commit to it. In doing so, you are not only honoring your boundaries, you are honoring your life's next chapter before it even begins. Leo, as we come to the close of this journey, I want you to pause for a moment and recognize how far we've walked together today. We began at a crossroads, where the weight of choice pressed against your heart, demanding clarity and courage. We stepped into the realm of your finances, learning how discipline is not restriction but the key to lasting freedom. We faced the sting of betrayal and discovered that sometimes the breaking point is also the turning point. We revisited the past, not to live in it, but to finally close the door with peace. And we stood tall in our boundaries, choosing to honor ourselves enough to release what no longer deserves our energy. Through every step, the message has remained steady: be strong. It will hurt, but God knows exactly what He's doing. You are not being abandoned in the storm, you are being reshaped by it. Every decision you make from here on is a brushstroke painting the life you truly want to live. A firm choice will return you to your rightful place, seated in the authority of your own destiny. Financial discipline will transform fleeting luck into sustainable independence. Letting go will no longer feel like loss, but like creating sacred space for blessings you can't yet see. The question now is, will you take what you've learned here and put it into practice? Will you choose to see each challenge as an invitation to rise higher? Will you dare to believe that even in your pain, you are being guided towards something greater? Only you can decide how this chapter unfolds. Every morning, give yourself the gift of a few quiet moments. Repeat this prayer as a way to anchor your spirit: I am a child of light. I choose what is right, even when it hurts. I honor my resources, protect my boundaries, and release what no longer serves me. Throughout your day, carry this affirmation in your heart: I am stronger than the pain. I am loyal to my purpose, not to my fear. These words are not just sentences, they are keys, and each time you speak them, you unlock another door. I want to thank you for being here, for showing up not only to hear these words but to let them work within you. Your presence supports eternal mindfulness, allowing this space to continue sharing messages that heal, inspire, and empower. Every like, every comment, every subscription keeps this light alive and helps it reach others who are searching for the same guidance you found today. So I invite you know if your heart has been moved, if you are ready to begin again to write in the comments, I am stronger than the pain. Let this be your signature on a new agreement with yourself, a public declaration that you are stepping forward into the life you are meant to live. Share this message, subscribe to stay connected, and be part of the movement to spread light where it's needed most. My wish for you, Leo, is that you will always shine not only to be seen, but to guide. That your courage will inspire others to be courageous, that your choices will be rooted in truth, and that your light will never dim for the comfort of others. The throne of your life has always been yours. Sit in it with pride, lead with your heart, and remember you were born to light the way.